Hi, I'm Rich, your host for this wonderful afternoon. Well, unless it's morning where you're at or late in the evening, wherever. We are a global user group, so sometimes it's all kinds of different hours. Anyway, so I'm Rich, and just so you know, this is my wife. Over there is my wife, Colette. She was actually at CriblCon too. And today, I actually don't know what all's on the agenda specifically, other than what Tony's got going. So might as well hand that over to him.
Awesome. Yeah, I figured we'd talk a little bit about what happened at CriblCon, and I even see him on the call already. Shree is going to be talking about what's new in 4.2. Nice rhyme there. But oh, there he is. He's even on camera. We had a great user group or user conference, CriblCon 2023. You see some of the pictures from there going in my background here. I'll even let see me. But it was awesome. It was one massive day of customer talks, listening to the founders and Abby talk on what's going on at Cribl. We had over 400 people attend, which is kind of crazy for the first ever event, being in July in the middle of the desert at Vegas in all the heat. And it was an amazing time. We kicked it off with the keynotes, and then we got to have a little party, getting birthday party cake and oh, awesome food. We had a lot of fun. And then what was even more surprising to me and just shows how awesome our community is, the next few days we had the collaboration labs there that I had a booth there for the community, but we had 5 demo stations and asked the experts yes, ionized water, yes. 5 demo stations and ask the experts, where you could bring your challenges, your questions, and get them answered. Or if you wanted to see something within the product, you could have people right there demoing what was going on. And we kind of we're figuring a few of you would show up and we'd be able to talk and really get in some depth. There was waiting lines at times to be able to get demos and be able to see the product and get the hands on and really dive into the rabbit hole of Cribl. And it was truly amazing of what happened. Yes, Aaron posted the link to the videos and to the keynotes for the recordings. And so check the chat, and I'll put it in the wrap up also. But the energy that everybody brought, sure, we're pumped up. We loved it, but being able to see everybody in the audience and talk to everybody afterwards in the demo labs, and then talk with people at the party, and then continuing throughout the week was reinvigorating for myself. We've been putting all this time and effort into making sure the product works, but seeing how you guys are using it and hearing how you're using it and the excitement that you guys have for the product really validates everything that we're doing throughout the year to make sure that the product is great. And I'm going to welcome anybody that wants to come off mute or put it in comments what your experience, because I already Vu's seminar changed his life. Chris is now a guru of ionized water. There was we got to see other conferences going on at the same time, and that was a nice. I think their system may have resembled a 3D triangle. So
yeah. So
go ahead, Colette.
So I would just say, first of all, to see how passionate the founders were, and Abby and everyone that spoke, honestly, on behalf of Cribl, how passionate they were about the customer first philosophy, that it wasn't just words on a paper or something coming out of their mouth. But I think there was at one point that Clint said, you know, the things that keep us up at night are our customers' dilemmas and how we're going to solve them. And just to see how passionate that they were about that and dedicated to it. And then I would also say you guys created such a great atmosphere. I can't explain it. The atmosphere there was welcoming. It was fun. It was information. It really made the event and like extremely enjoyable. And you were excited about hearing the next speaker, going to the cool lab, going to the party, secretly going back up and partying more at Tony's suite as a group, and just like I was amazed at how kind they were and welcoming they were. And then going back on Wednesday and seeing the demos and how knowledgeable everyone was, and really great at bringing more detail to what we found out about on Monday. It was awesome. And then I'll end with this: to see Clint and giving a demo to a customer on Monday at the Cool Lab. That was like a highlight. I've never seen a CEO of a 500-person company go ahead and take that moment to just stop everything else he's doing and to give that demo to that customer. And I think it was on Cribl search actually, but it was impressive. I was really, really impressed by that. You?
I was only going to say that next time karaoke comes up, I will let my wife go do it all she wants. Maybe I just won't even go. I don't know. We'll see. It was fun, but she's definitely the queen of karaoke. That goat's in the way. I keep trying to point over. Does anybody else have anything to say?
I'll say, and I think it surprised you, Colette. If you don't know, our company runs on Taylor Swift.
I figured that out.
There may be Easter eggs in the product if you can find them that have some Taylor references.
Wow, that's cool.
Challenge accepted.
I was gonna say the gauntlets have been thrown down.
Thrown down. All right, let's go.
I'll comment. I'll say some comments. I was definitely happy to be there and be able to speak on behalf of my company and what we're using the Cribl product for. It was fun being up there on the stage, and actually that's the first time I've spoken in front of a big group. So, but it was easy. I mean, it was I think because of how laid back everything was and how open everybody was, it made that pretty easy. So definitely enjoyed that. Enjoyed checking out the Cool Lab. I know I made it back over there one day during the week and to hang out with everybody and learn a few things. And it was definitely a great time. I'm looking forward, hopefully, being able to come to the next one.
I just want to point out too that Sean is wearing this goat, what we've dubbed the goat chains. This is it's not just like, a medal for participation. This is a medal for greatness and being amongst the greatest of all time in the Cribl community. So you too could be a goat chain winner should you participate frequently is maybe not the right word, but like frequently in the communities via user groups and via Curious and via Slack and via presenting at CriblCon. So let us know. We can help you get ready if you're interested in those things. And then of course, Curious and Slack, we love everyone's contribution there. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So of those that were able to come to the party, what was the games that you loved the most?
Skee ball.
It's always pinball for me. I love playing pinball. So had a lot of fun with that.
I was sad I didn't get to try the 6 or 12 person foosball table, but yeah, pinball and skee ball are also pretty rad.
Hey, I did try the lock picking thing, and I realized that I'm never going to be able to pick a lock ever, and it was fun to try.
Aaron, I'm with you. I didn't get to play the foosball, so maybe next year we make sure.
Next year, we're
I'm with
teaming
you.
up.
Yeah,
We gotta find some other friends, but that's okay. We can do it.
it's a long table.
Craig, no, I don't think Adam's family was there. We had Star Wars. And what was the other one? Can't remember the other one.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, we had two
Yeah.
pinball, and the one that I was playing was Star Wars.
It was like a NASCAR or something, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I played both. I definitely preferred the Star Wars one. That's me. That's more my style.
Craig, it was the local DC 702 tool chapter that we brought in for the lockpicking. Yep. I've been to enough DEF CONs, been to enough Black Hats that I definitely knew to call the DC 702 group to come in for that.
And actually the photos right now scrolling on Tony's are of that party afterwards.
Oh yeah, and the magician. He had a bunch of sleight of hand tricks, and they were pretty awesome.
And I'm just gonna say it this way, the food, the chocolate covered strawberries, the snacks, I mean, breakfast and lunch, the whole day, and then snacks when we came back to the cool lab a few days later, and big old like chocolate chip cookies and coffee. And I mean, like, wow, I was totally blown away, really impressed, and really like grateful to be able to attend, because you guys just made it very special. It was a good time, and we went home with awesome swag. So in addition to, you know, the swag that everybody else got, there was also this favorite screaming goat that got passed out later in the week, which is a favorite in our family. And then there was a little bag that was, so the t-shirts and the bags were given to each of the participants.
Yeah.
And then there was inclusivity earrings that both of our daughters love. Like, seriously, phenomenal job on the swag and the food. So thank you.
You got it. So we hope to see more of y'all next year. But thank you for those of you who made it on the our kind of maiden voyage. That's great.
Awesome.
Should we let Shri and Conway?
I'll say that we're right at 10:15 here, and time for Shri. And was did I see Ryan pop in too?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna turn it over. Let me make sure Shri or Ryan, you guys who's gonna be screen sharing here?
I'll be screen sharing.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Let me bump you up here.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Shri. I am the product manager for Cribl Edge, and joining me today is my colleague, Ryan Conway, who's a product manager for Stream Integrations. So we're going to actually walk you through what's, we just had a 4.2 release, and what we will do is we'll just give you a brief overview of what are the features that came in Cribl Cloud, Cribl Stream, and Cribl Edge in our 4.2 release, and maybe followed by a short demo. Let me start sharing my screen. Can you see what I'm sharing here? I'll put it in a slideshow mode.
Yep.
Give me 1 second. Is this looking okay?
It is.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So last month we released our 4.2 release, and the 4.2 release is actually it brought in quite a number of features, and I'm going to talk about those features one by one. Let's go ahead and get started. The multiple worker groups. This feature was actually introduced in 4.1.3. This feature is introduced as a part of our cloud. We already have multiple worker groups in our Stream product. It's been there for quite some time, But so a bunch of our customers actually were requesting the same feature on the cloud. The specific use case that they wanted to talk about is, hey, I only have a default fleet on my stream right now, but default worker group. I want to be able to track my own infrastructure, or I want to be able to actually manage the infrastructure costs of a worker group. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to provide greater scalability and also greater flexibility and security for customers. So customers can now add more worker groups against their organization. You already today can add a hybrid worker group where you are hosting the worker group locally in your own on-prem location. But now what you can do is you can actually extend that and add a worker group as in the cloud itself. When you add a worker group, we provide you with the flexibility to provision or deprovision worker groups in the cloud, along with the ingest rate. So you can select what is the ingest rate for your worker group, and of course, there is also a different pricing for the infrastructure, because the infrastructure, we are taking care of provisioning the infrastructure in the cloud. So you have the flexibility to basically either provision it or deprovision it at any time. You can add worker groups, you can delete worker groups in the cloud. So all that is available starting from 4.1.3 release. By default, if you are provisioning a worker group in the cloud, it's going to have 2 workers per group with about 12 megabytes per second ingest. So that's available as a 4.1.3 release. I just wanted to kind of bring it out. This is the cloud feature. And basically, there are some distinct capabilities that are not available on-prem, that are only available in the cloud, for example, infrastructure provisioning pieces. Moving to the next slide. So there is what we call, as we've introduced, what we call a security and control across all products. This is what we call as a Cribl authorization. So what we have done is there is already local users today, and as far as the local users are concerned, then they have certain roles. There is a certain role-based access control. What we have done is we have added what we call as a members and permissions as a successor to our existing role-based access control. This provides fine-grained access control and authorization, both at an organization level and at a fleet level, and to a certain extent also at a worker group level and also resource level. That's the level of fine-grained access control that we are providing. So this is available for enterprise license or Cribl.cloud plans. For any of the other plans, for example, free tiers or single instance deployments, all users will get admin privileges. So why did we do this? We introduced this because customers were requesting greater security in protecting access to some of their resources, and they did not want certain users to access certain products. So a bunch of different customers were coming back and asking for this fine-grained control. So when you actually first deploy the Cribl stream, you will get an organization level admin permission. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the permissions in the next slide. So today, the permission today, what we have done here is it's available for stream, edge, and search. For stream, you can have fine-grained control for stream projects, and for edge, fleets and subfleets, and for search, datasets and providers. So this is how it works. The permissions are organized at an organization level. For example, every organization can have an owner or an admin or a user for that organization. And below the organization, you have different products. You have stream, you have edge, and you have search. You can definitely assign permissions to a user to be a stream admin or an edge admin or a search member. And that's what we call as a product level permissions. And below the product level permissions is basically what we call as a group or a fleet level permissions. You can actually, you can go to that fine-grained control that says like, okay, this user will have access only to stream and only to a specific worker group as a read-only user, right? So that's the level of granularity that you can go. And below that worker group or an admin, there is also what we call as a resource. In Stream, the only resource that we support in 4.2 release is actually Stream projects. In Search, the resources that are supported are basically you have your data set or a data set provider. So fleets and subfleets, of course, are very similar to your Stream worker groups, but you will have access to fleet. You can actually tell somebody that you will only have access to this particular fleet in Edge. Now, in the upcoming releases, we are planning to add much more fine-grained control. Now, along with adding this level of this level of granularity, of course, this is going to be a bit more hard for somebody to visualize. So what we have also done is we've added a new graphical permissions management as a part of the product, and this permissions management will let you easily basically visualize how these permissions are for any given user. I'm going to show a little bit of that when I do the demo later, right? So we are before 4.2 release, we have the local users that you can configure on your local systems. Local users are still available in 4.2 release. Both members and local users continue to coexist, and they are interchangeable. You can change them from either of the screens. You can either go to local user screens, and all the members that you've added as a part of the authorization, you will see there. And likewise, if you go to the member screen, you will see all the local users out there as well. This works across all of the three products. This is basically available both on the cloud and also on the on-prem. On the on-prem, if the cloud has what we call as in a cloud account can have different organizations, but an on-prem will have only one organization generally. So going to what's new in Stream 4.2, there are three distinct features, the big features that we introduced as a part of Stream 4.2. One is our Stream projects. Stream projects was introduced as a beta prior to 4.2 release. Now we actually made it generally available. There is a native Azure ADX Sentinel integration, and also there is we have some additional database collectors that are ready for prime time. We'll go through one by one of these features. So Stream projects. What is Stream projects? Stream projects is nothing but basically providing fine-grained control to your data ingest. Let's say you have several different sources that are sending the data, and you create pipelines today, and you actually send it to different destinations. Now, the pipeline for the destination between the sources and the destinations is all common, but you really don't want all of your users to see what's incoming, what's coming in. You only want, but let's say, for example, there is a group that actually wants only some specific data, some redacted data from your existing data ingest. There is no way to do that today other than just creating multiple pipelines, and every user can see all the pipelines. So the projects is a concept that is that is to create isolated spaces for teams and users to share and manage all the data. So every project has a project editor, and project editor is a role as a part of our authorization. We have integrated it as part of the authorization project. You can actually assign somebody as a project editor, and project editors, they do get a streamlined visualized UI. And project editors can go and create their own pipelines, and they can actually only take part of the data that is getting ingested into their specific applications. The example that we have shown here is, for example, there is a Cribl admin, and you are ingesting data from IT servers and network sources, and also from firewall sources. You want to send some some data to IT ops and some data to SecOps. That's possible with Stream projects without disrupting any of your other things. So here is a quick example that I'll probably show it as a part of the demo. Let's say a Cribl admin wants to filter data from same firewall sources and want to split it between security and the ops teams. Until now, the current scenario before 4.2, the Cribl admin had to create two different pipelines, one that is going to the ops team and one that is going to the security team. But now, and then anybody from the ops team definitely has the visibility of what's going into the security team, and likewise everybody can see everything. With the projects concept, what happens is the security team will not be able to see what the ops team is getting, and the ops team will not be able to see what the security team is getting. And you can have a security team project editor and also an IT ops team project editor. They get their own user interfaces. They can edit what they are ingesting. They can actually modify the pipelines and all that stuff. It all works off of the same ingest data. So the Cribl admin still retains control to send it to other destinations as well. The Cribl admin is basically just giving some isolated spaces to both the IT ops team and the security team. That's what the concept of projects is. Moving on to the next one. We have Cribl Stream 4.2. I think I'll let Ryan talk about this a little bit.
Thanks, Sri. Grab a slug of water. I know you got a couple more slides coming up, but good to be here, everyone. My name is Ryan Conway. I am the product manager for integrations at Cribl. I recognize a couple names of the users that are here today, so good seeing everyone. And I will definitely see you guys in the Slack community. I'm trying to reply to feature requests, any errors or gaps as much as we can. So good seeing some names that we recognize. So the integrations team currently supports over 75 different integrations. This includes sources, collectors, places to bring data in from, as well as destinations. So places to write data out to. In every release, the charter of the integrations team is to enhance existing integrations, as well as to add new integrations. So we're looking to expand horizontally, adding new logos, as well as kind of keep track of how folks are using the integrations that we currently support and build those out vertically. In tackling this initiative, we listen to our community. As our community adopts our products, understanding the power of Cribl, we hear more and more about the areas where customers want to use Cribl, and integrations is key to that. So one of our top integration asks in the community is Azure. And with the 4.2 release last month, I'm very happy to announce that Cribl now supports sending data to Microsoft Sentinel. So Sentinel is Azure's security analysis platform. Sentinel is becoming more prominent because it helps security teams detect, investigate, and respond to security threats. So in adding this integration, our goal is to bring the vendor-neutral Cribl value to Sentinel. As we all know, Cribl helps with routing, transformation, and controlling of data. Now our customers can do that within the Microsoft Sentinel space. Our initial support for Sentinel will include writing to 4 native data tables. That includes the common security log, the security events table, syslog, as well as the Windows events table. Our integration writes directly to those tables, so Sentinel will light up once that data gets flowing. In addition to Sentinel, I'd also like to call out our progress with Azure Data Explorer. ADX is an operations and data analysis platform, and we have a lot of customers requesting support of ADX alongside Sentinel. So work is in progress on the ADX integration. I hope I can join another one of these global user sessions and discuss ADX when it's ready in a future release. So we can go on to the next slide.
Hey, Ryan, do we want to stop really quick? Just
sure.
Real quick, folks, now's your chance. These folks own some of these features. So if you have opinions, I see there's a couple of things popping in the chat, but if you have opinions or questions or ideas on how you might use this, or what specific problems you're looking to solve, these are the folks we want to hear from you. So please,
and if the questions aren't popping up right now, like I said, the Slack community thread, or reaching out however you want, these questions and feedback, it really does power our backlog and what we drive and build into the product going forward. So that's a good point.
Cool.
You have a couple questions in the chat here.
Yeah, we cannot pull data from Sentinel yet. Our search team is building that into the backlog. So the Azure work within search is upcoming. So it's coming up.
And then the writing to the 4 tables, does that mean that webhooks to Sentinel is no longer needed?
Our goal is that this new Sentinel destination should be the best practice going forward. So webhook will still work if you have that in place, but our recommendation is to move over to the native Sentinel integration.
And are custom tables supported?
They are supported, yes. Cool. So our second headlining feature for 4.2 is adding rising column support and collection reliability to the database collector. This work falls within our charter of enhancing existing integrations. So we launched support for the database collector at the end of last year. Customers adopted the database collector, but also provided feedback that they wanted the ability to tell a database collector, hey, give me everything since my last collection job. So with 4.2 and this feature, customers sourcing data from databases can now reference where they left off. So this helps you guys, maintain current data sets, ensuring there are no gaps in data, and of course, saving time and resources. This feature also introduces collector reliability. So if a series of collection jobs is processing and a worker process is interrupted, this feature allows those collection jobs to pick up where they left off once the workers are back online. This was a big ask within our community over the past couple months. We are looking forward to expanding this capability, this collection reliability, to other collectors, but happy to announce that this is supported in 4.2 with the database collector. So yeah, like I said, and like Aaron said, these are great examples of integrations that have come to us based on community demand and feedback, and we're hoping that these really help you kind of unlock more of those Cribl use cases going forward.
Thank you,
Ryan,
Ryan.
the question came in. Do you differentiate between log analysis, and Sentinel?
Craig, can you expand on that question?
Right. So you know how the Sentinel is really an analysis engine built on log analytics where all the data is stored. And so there are some capabilities that will integrate directly with the Sentinel piece and others that integrate with the data underneath. And part of that is that the data underneath is usually stored as raw, while if you integrate with the Sentinel piece, it's cooked. And so there are some use cases where you need to actually get the raw data from the log analytics part, vice the cooked data that's sitting in the that you get through the Sentinel part. And that's why one of the reasons I was asking that.
I'm not sure the answer to that question off the top of my head, but I can get back to you, Craig, and provide that answer to you. My understanding is that this time last year, we did not have the capabilities to write to the native tables that fed into Sentinel. At the beginning of this year, we worked with Microsoft and kind of kept an eye on their documentation. They kind of unlocked and provided a way for us to write to those native tables, and that's the support that we're starting with. But yeah, I can dig in and provide some context after around that.
You pretty much answered
log analytics for Sentinel.
You pretty much answered my question because I'm getting the read and the write functions mixed up. But no, that I see what you're saying now. So yeah, so you're writing to the tables that I know that accesses. So that's what that's the answer. Thank you. I appreciate you clarifying that.
Okay, cool. Thanks for asking that.
Thanks, Ryan. Should I move on to the next one?
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about Edge, a little bit about Edge. So Edge has come a long way in the past 6 to 7 months. We are seeing customers that are deploying Edge, especially in Kubernetes environments and also in Windows environments. We are continuing to add features in both areas. And one of the things, one couple of features that came out as a part of our 4.2 release is a new Prometheus edge scraper, and the second one is a compressed file monitoring. So in terms of, I'm going to talk a little bit more about these two features right now. So Prometheus edge scraper. So we already had a Prometheus scraper as a, that was part of Edge, but it wasn't working. It wasn't working in Kubernetes environments. We had to revamp the scraper and add a discovery logic so that it actually only runs on a there's only one instance that runs and it scrapes only once instead of duplicating the data. So what we have done is we have actually revamped the whole Prometheus scraper and in addition and enhanced it to be able to collect information from a Kubernetes environment. So what you can see here is in the edge, if you go to Cribl Edge, you will see what we call as a Prometheus edge scraper. This is different from what you would see in Stream. And this edge scraper, in addition to your static DNS and also your EC2, Amazon EC2, it also adds Kubernetes pods and Kubernetes nodes. So when when your discovery type is Kubernetes nodes, it supports collecting metrics from an endpoint on the local nodes where Cribl Edge is running. If you select a Kubernetes pods, it supports basically building a list of endpoints from the pods on the node. So that's what this is, and this actually expands the Kubernetes monitoring. If customers have Prometheus, they already have Prometheus endpoints. They don't need a Prometheus destination to be able to send this information. So the next one is compressed file monitoring. So there are a variety of file formats like gzip and also ZSTD and their archive versions. Customers were requesting us to ingest data from these compressed files. So this feature is available as a part of our 4.2 release. Now there is no special user interface or anything else for this. It's just your regular file monitor. What they can do is they can pretty much put a star.gz extension and it will automatically monitor those files. So I think that pretty much kind of covers the cloud, stream, and edge features that are part of 4.2 release. There are a couple of questions on Edge that kind of popped up. I think support for Windows and Mac workstations. Yes, that is on our roadmap. We are looking to support that sometime around next year, 2024. There are certain architectural considerations that we are looking at to be able to support that high volume of workstations. And also typically workstations tend to go to sleep. And so we also need to keep that in mind. And we also need to consider consider the time lag when between the events, logs, and metrics before the workstation went to sleep versus it actually woke up. So these are all some of the architectural considerations that we are looking at. So that's I hope I answered the question. Cool. Let me switch to the demo. Tony, should I go ahead and do the demo right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So this is basically my Cribl Cloud instance. The first thing that I'll talk about is basically the authorization. So in your Cribl Cloud or in your local instance as well, what you will see is there is this members section. You go to the members. You will see all the members. You can actually go and edit the member and see the permissions that this person has at an organization level. And Zamora is an owner, and every owner is automatically an admin for all of the products. Now let's look at let's look at another user. Let's say I'm looking at Jim here. So at an organization level, this person is a user. At a stream level, they are an admin. On Edge, they are only getting a read-only permission. On search, they are a user. User is pretty much the most basic permission. On stream and Edge, if you're a user, nothing will be shown on the UI until an administrator actually gives you access to either a worker group or a fleet. So if unless you have access to a specific worker group or a specific fleet, edge and the stream and edge, you will not see anything in the UI. Once you get access to one or more worker groups or the fleets, only those fleets will appear for anybody that has a user role here. Read-only permission, read-only, they can read everything on that, but they will not be able to modify or change any configurations. This is pretty much the authorization pieces. Now, that's one piece. Let's say if I go to manage stream, each stream itself has, so this is a cloud stream. You see the multiple worker groups here. Each worker group again has their own members, and as a part of the members, you can provide somebody at a worker group level saying that, okay, this person will not have any access to this, or this person will only have an editor access. That means an editor will be able to make some changes to that specific group, and if you have no access to this, then this group will not even be visible. The same thing applies to edge as well. On an edge at a fleet level, you will be able to provide either no access admin or an editor access for each individual user. That is the level of granularity that you would have today. I'll show you what roles are available. So these are all the roles that we have, like, yeah. Editor, member, no access. Yeah. Now let's go to, let's talk about the multiple worker groups. You see here, there are, in this instance, there are multiple worker groups here. There's the AWS, there's a default hybrid. Let's just go back to the AWS and let's look at the group settings here. So see, this is how you would actually see a multiple worker group. For example, this particular worker group is fully cloud. It was the infrastructure was actually provisioned and is being managed by Cribl, and the anticipated data ingest rate is about 24 megabytes per second. So you can definitely select all the way up to 180 megabytes per second ingest rate. When you say provision infrastructure, it automatically provisions all of the required infrastructure in the cloud that is needed for this particular worker group. This is what this is the feature that is only available on the cloud, and this is the multiple worker group feature. All right, let's stick with the same AWS and let's talk about projects. So let's look at the data routes here. There are several. In terms of the sources and destinations. Okay, configured only. We have all of these sources that are actually sending data to the syslog, TCP, Splunk, HEC, and HTTP, and these are actually going to some of these destinations here. Default dev null, data lakes, and also your CrowdStrike. So in general, you have a bunch of data routes that are already configured here. Otherwise, the default is just basically it just sets it to the default route. What I have done here is I actually created a subscription, which is I actually created a project called John's project. And if I go to the subscription, you would see that the John's project is only ingesting the syslog UDP data, and it is actually sending it to some other destination. So the destination that it's actually sending it to is dev null. That means I've out of all the ingest, all the sources that are sending data, I've taken a slice of that, and basically I created a project, and this project will have specific users that have access to it. Right now, I'm just showing it as dev null, but it can be any other destination. It can be your own destination as well. So that's what our project's feature is. Let's now switch to Edge. So, all right, let's look at we have this Kubernetes, and let's go to collect. see this edge scraper, the scraper that we talked about. So what we have created is we have created this is your Kubernetes node. And in the Kubernetes node, I already have a Kubernetes by default comes up with it has CAdvisor, the container that provides the container level metrics that's running. What I'm doing is I'm actually scraping that CAdvisor on this, that is actually, so that is basically pushing all the metrics into this particular port with this particular path. So this is how the Kubernetes node or a Kubernetes pods are configured here. And this one actually shows oh, sorry, just this one, sorry. This, yeah, they both are basically sending one is the node exporter level metrics, and one is basically your Kubernetes, your CAdvisor container metrics. There is one other feature that I think I probably should show. What we have done is we have added a new feature called one-time ingest as a part of the edge. You can go to any node. You can go into the explore. You can go to explore the node. You can look at the files and all that. And what you can do is you can click on this and say ingest this file. So it is a one-time ingest. It will read this file and it will convert it into events, and you can send it to any destination. So if you look at the ingest, you can actually select your pipeline and your destination, and it will, this is what we call as a one-time ingest as well. This feature is also added as part of 4.2 release.
You do have a question here, Shri.
Sure.
Craig, could you quickly repeat if people who have been given access to projects, i.e. security, can change the destination or only the pipeline / knowledge?
They should be able to create their own destination. I think, yeah, they can change the destination, but let me confirm that. We do not have resource like sources and destination level authorization yet. It's coming in the upcoming releases.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right, and we just have a couple minutes left, so we wrapping that up then. Sri, thanks so much. All right. Do you have any, oh, you just muted and unmuted when you spoke.
No, yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, appreciate the chance to present to the community.
Perfect.
And thank you also to Ryan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't let me forget people.
No problem.
That's
I
why
wanted to ask Aaron.
He's so good.
I wanted to ask Aaron how many more slides Shri and I have to present to get one of those cool goat medals. We can take that offline.
No.
It's not slides, it's about the value. It's the value you're contributing back to the
punch.
Jesus.
It's the punch.
The ladder.
Yeah. So you got to be dropping the knowledge, my man.
Mic drops. You counted in mic drops.
It was
Ryan was gonna go for quantity, 1 word per slide.
Right. Fly through 'em. Just hitting that quota.
Anyway, I think it's time, unless we have any other quick announcements to make, Aaron or Tony, or we covered it all pretty much.
I'll say, make sure to check out Curious to be able to get questions and answers beyond Slack at any time. So you can help build a knowledge base. It's our version of Slashdot to be able to get questions, answers at any time of the day, whether or not people are online or not.
And possibly a goat chain.
And possibly a goat chain.
And it does, yeah, points do accumulate.
Points accumulate, but you can also get other cool shirts and things in the meantime.
Yeah, yep. I'll be wearing one next meeting. I'll be wearing my other cool shirt. So, but this was all about CriblCon. So I wore, I can't point to the right place or anything backwards. CriblCon. So I think that covers our user group meeting. We are, I think, still looking for someone to do something next meeting. So if you have something you've learned or can teach or think is just cool, let me know. You know, it can be short, it can be long, it can be, you could, sometimes we're real informal with these things. It's one slide to say hi and you give a quick demo, and other times, you know, maybe you make some more slides and tell us more about it. In any case, let us know in the user group channel if you've got some ideas. We can help work with you to kind of smooth those out, or, you know, flesh them out.
Or if there's things that you want to learn,
Yep.
we'll find the right people. Like I was able to find Ryan and Shree for the 4.2.
Right. So other than that, we will see you guys in about another month.